welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my returning subscribers, and if you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, then please do. It helps me out massively, and you'll get to know when I'm doing more readings like this in future. So what is today all about? We have two different piles today, so you get to pick pile 1 or pile 2 for your reading. And today is the dark moon, so this is the night before the new moon, which is like the final push after the full moon of just things that want to be released, or if something's been illuminated to you and you've been working through a cycle, this is kind of like the final push shift before we enter that new moon. It's quite interesting. I have a pet snake, and this snake has taken its time really shedding a skin, and it's literally just shed its skin now, which is perfect timing. It kind of shows maybe you are like the snake, where you're just shedding this old skin at the moment. It's taking you a little bit of time. Maybe you've had to work through a lot of emotion to do this, and now you're finally ready to shed that. You're ready for a new start, a new beginning. And this moon that we're entering, this moon phase, is the lightning moon. I mean, you might call it different things, but the system I use is we work with the lightning moon. And this lightning moon is actually connected to the apple tree. And the apple represents love. And it's interesting because the card that I got today from Odin and the Nine Realms was Freya, and she is the goddess of love. So Freya is a goddess that she works with feminine prowess, so like sexual prowess basically. And what this is all about today is about knowing your power. So if you're feminine here, this could be about you stepping into your feminine, your goddess energy, your power of the feminine, okay? So maybe in the past you might have rejected certain aspects of yourself for fear of coming across as too powerful almost, or, you know, sometimes you can get classed as a whore or just too free or whatever. Whereas now you might be stepping into an energy of actually owning your sexual energy, owning your goddess energy. Now, if you're masculine here, it doesn't mean that you aren't sort of stepping into this kind of energy yourself. You're working perhaps with your inner feminine. It doesn't mean that you become a feminine man or anything. It just means that you are acknowledging and accepting those aspects of yourself. Now, for some of you, there's this energy around, if we misuse that sexual energy, we can use it sometimes to manipulate, or, you know, you can perhaps give too much of that energy away. Now, I'm not judging anybody again, so please don't put in the comments that like, I don't put it about, I don't, okay, I'm not saying that you do. But the energy for some of the collective, it might be like that. So it's just about being honest with yourself, isn't it? Okay. So what this card is about, what this general reading is embodying, is about love for yourself. It's finding the energy and enjoying and embracing your energy, okay? You don't have to go giving that out to everybody else. You can keep that for yourself. But it's getting that balance, isn't it, between giving and receiving. That is basically what love in balance looks like, is giving and receiving in balance. And Freya's message here is, just because you can doesn't mean that you should, okay? We are responsible for our karma. So basically, you know, what we do, how we go about things is going to create some kind of consequence that may show up in our lives at some point, okay? Now, for some of you, you might be going through these consequences now and having these realizations. And it's about honouring the experiences that you've had in the past, you know, just honour them. No regrets, just honour it, okay? And as you move forward, you're starting to recognise and realise, actually, you know, I really do embrace who I am. All of the parts of me that perhaps you rejected in the past, you're now embracing at this time and starting to realise actually what your worth is. So if that resonates with you, this is definitely a reading for you. And we've got two different piles. So the 2-pile pick can be useful sometimes because it kind of just splits the collective down a little bit. So it makes it a little bit more specific for you than just one pile. So if you pick pile 1, these are the Llewellyn cards, the Welsh cards. And if you pick pile 2, these are the Tattoo Tarot, the Ink and Intuition Tarot. Okay, So they kind of look like that. So choose which pile you want to choose, and I will see you in your pile. Okay, so welcome to your reading pile number 1. So you would have chosen the Llewellyn, the Welsh cards here. Now I picked a moon card for you previously, so I'll talk to you about your moon card and then I'm going to pick some runes and we'll work through what your situation is. So yours is barrier. So you may feel like there's been some barriers to where you want to be in life, or where you feel like you should be going, or what you want out of life, okay? And it feels like you're going through this space of leaving a comfort zone and entering into a real transformation, but there feels like there's some kind of barrier to enable you to reach that. Maybe you keep going back to the comfort zone, and I feel like you're kind of at the point now where you're like, I'm seeing it now. I've seen that I keep going back and I'm done with that. So let's see what your runes are saying to you today. We have Eros, which is very interesting because that is Freya's rune. We have Tiwaz. And Feihu. Wonderful. So this is very much, you've really been looking at yourself, looking at trusting yourself is one aspect of this, really being able to trust yourself in relationships, especially. Trusting the relationship with yourself and trusting your relationship with others too. So Freya's husband was a Norse god, and he often left her alone and she would cry tears of gold. And so in his absence, she was accused of sleeping around, okay? She's accused of sleeping around with like elves, giants, dwarves. So it's kind of like, and she would cry these tears. So it's almost like an energy I get from this is you've had a realization about you really want a connection with somebody. You want a connection that feels true and deep. You don't want to be alone anymore. And it's not that you feel alone when you're spending time by yourself, but you just feel like there's something missing, a connection that you really want. And during this time, you've kind of had some realizations about what is it about the past connections you've had that haven't made the fit, that you've always had an issue, or there's been some kind of problem, or it just hasn't worked out. And it's led you down a path of really learning to trust yourself, or realizing that there's a need to trust yourself in relationships, okay? So it's like if there's an absence in a relationship, going into casual things with somebody else isn't going to help in this relationship. So it's almost like a realization of like integrity, okay? So if that sounds like something that you're going through at the moment, and this could be through the past, it might not be right now, it might be in your past, you know, but you're just pondering it, you're thinking about it. Tiwaz is suggesting here about you kind of making a sacrifice to certain ways of being, certain patterns in your life, so that you can move forward with integrity, with justice, with truth, and really honouring yourself. It's like you're really accessing your higher self and aligning that energy now. And Feihu kind of represents the fact that this timeline that you've put yourself on through the work you've done looking at yourself is really abundant. You know, you've stepped into a real wealth, a new energy that I don't think you're expecting. I don't think you ever really thought you'd find it, but you have, because you've chosen to step away from the patterns that you would normally go into to find a new way, to find something different. So let's get into your tarot cards then and see. We've actually got the Lovers right on the bottom there. So what is your current situation at this new moon, well, dark moon, should we say? Seven of Wands, yeah. So there's been an energy here of feeling quite defensive. It's taken a while for you to really understand your role in certain relationships, or, you know, it's like we can be quite defensive, can't we, when we don't want to look at ourselves, we don't want to look or sort of say, you know, actually I see where I was in this particular situation. We don't always want to look at that. But I feel like you have been lately, and although you've been a little bit like, oh, I don't really want to see, I don't want to look at that, I don't want to see that, I don't want to acknowledge that, I feel like you are starting to now. So let's get some clarity on that one. Yay. Because you're looking at the, you know, your truth here. You're trying to bring some truth and logic to the situation, and realizing actually you need to be truthful to yourself. You need to be able to trust yourself. And you're stepping into an energy, whether you're male or female, of being the king of your life, okay? And realizing actually this defensive energy is not getting me anywhere. It's just blocking me from being able to feel this love, to be able to feel connection in the way that I want to. So through Ewas, that is the realization that you've had. You're kind of marrying up your head and your heart and having this realization of like, actually, perhaps I can make some changes here to enable me to receive what it is that I want. So what is your challenge here in this? What is your challenge here? Sorry, I said about the lightning moon, didn't I? I didn't mean that. I meant harvest moon, and we're working with the tree apple. So Page of Wands. This is the energy of, it's almost like a little fool in a way. And when I say little fool, the Fool card can represent a time for taking a leap of faith, taking a chance. This I see as you feeling enthusiastic about the journey ahead. It's kind of like you've decided to embark on a particular journey, on a particular path, and you're feeling like, you know, quite enthusiastic about it. You've become very sort of excited about this. You've had a realization of this is the way I want to go. And it's interesting, we've got that rabbit down there as well, which rabbits do, they also represent that fertility energy, which is what Freya can represent as well. So there is an energy of you being watched over almost by the goddesses, kind of saying, you know, just allow that energy to drive this, you know, be enthusiastic, be passionate, but move with that integrity and that truth. Honor yourself in that way. Okay, we also have the Ace of Swords on the bottom there as well. So this is kind of like where it's enthusiasm, there's drive there, but there's also this energy of an epiphany, like something's sort of become really clear in your mind right now. And that could be causing a challenge to you, but right now is about you reaping rewards for what you've been doing, the work that you've been doing on yourself. So what do you need to focus on? Okay, so there's an energy here of about focusing on what you are competing against, okay? There may be some competition around what it is that you want at this time, and that might be throwing you off at this moment. It's like you're not the only one that is going for this. You're not the only one that wants this. Let's get some clarity on that. What else can you give us? The Five of Wands. Okay, this could be to do with, if you're the masculine here, this could be to do with a feminine. Maybe there is some competition around a particular person that you would like to be with. If you're the feminine here, I feel like there are people competing for your attention. It's like you've kind of dropped into this Freya energy, okay? So that's two different things there. So if you're the masculine here, this is a feminine that you want, I feel like you kind of trying to move towards being with. Like this is kind of like taking a chance on, taking a leap of faith on, and you feel that there may be competition around that. And like I say, if you are the feminine here, then this is kind of like there is competition of people wanting to get closer to you, people wanting to be around you, but you've taken a step back and you've decided to really work on yourself, trusting yourself as well, trusting yourself to make the right decision. I feel for the feminines here is trusting yourself to know what it is that you want, what you're prepared to commit to. And for the masculines here, this is about you kind of putting all your energy into one feminine. It's like you kind of made this decision to commit to something here, and And that's where this kind of like truth and integrity kind of card comes in on there. So take what resonates. It could be the other way around, flip it around if you need to, but that's how it's coming out to me. That's how it seems to me. So what is the energy here? What is the future of this? That Ace of Swords definitely wanted to come out on here. So it's almost like this competition has created a clarity. It's made you realise what it is that you want almost. So perhaps if you're the feminine here, this is about you kind of realising like, wow, actually maybe I've got more power than I realised. Maybe I am more attractive than I realised, or it's more about me than I realised, because these people seem to be fighting over me and you get to choose. And like I say, if you're the masculine here, then this is more about you realising like, oh my God, she's got like, there's not just me that is after this person, that wants this person. I'm going to have to fight for this. I'm going to have to really put my case forward kind of thing. So there's an energy about, there's something, I've got some holly and like around like winter and autumn sort of time. So this could be that this kind of energy is going to spill over into after the summer. So this could be going on through the summer for you into the autumn and the winter. It could be where this kind of starts to really take off, or it could have been from I don't know, around the winter or the autumn last year maybe, where you started to feel yourself changing through this energy. Okay, getting something around May, because I know around that sort of time, that's the tree that we work with, that's the holly tree. So it could also be for some of you that around May you had this kind of epiphany, you had this kind of feeling or thought of like, I feel like I need to take some action here. Okay. Oh wow, we have the King of Pentacles on the bottom there. So I feel like somebody is hoping here for this like connection of a couple, you know, like a power couple almost. It's like there's a feeling of like, this is my person, this is the way I want to go. And there's had to be some changes along the way. There's been some barriers to this, but now that barrier is starting to come down, I feel. And it's because of love. It's around love, definitely. What is your advice on this? I don't know what that was. I shoved it back in. I didn't even look at it. What is your advice on here? Okay, so advice is coming out as something I wasn't really expecting on this one, because it's kind of like the energy of like betrayal and grief and heartbreak. So the advice is maybe don't focus on this so heavily, because it feels like this could be something from the past that's perhaps been the barrier between coming forward here. It almost feels like there's been an energy of somebody doesn't know whether they've been told the truth or not, and they've been lied to, and someone's heart's been broken, or maybe two hearts have been broken here, many hearts have been broken. But there's just something about this kind of energy that is pulling in, but this is the barrier. So the advice here is this is what's the barrier that's causing the standoff with this, or the inability to move forward with this. Someone's crying tears over this, like we said about Freya crying those golden tears over her husband. It's almost like an energy of not being able to reach a person that you really want to reach, and you're trying to maybe reach this person, or you have done in the past, in a way that you kind of scheming a little bit, or trying to make plans, but you don't know how to go about it. Almost like it's something in secret. Let's get some clarity on that then. Yeah, the Nine of Cups, because there's something about desire here, and maybe there is an energy of feeling like, oh, maybe this is just something that I'm lusting after, or, you know, it's not actually as deep as I feel, but I feel like you've actually had a realisation of this is deeper than I thought. This one goes quite well with the harvest on this one too, because it's kind of like the Nine of Cups is about like reaping the rewards of that harvest. It's like being content with what you've got, being happy, you know, desire fulfillment, something very fulfilling happening on here. And I feel like there is a desire that you want fulfilling on this. So what do you need to do? Oh, Okay, that came out quick. Two of Wands. So this is about making a decision. You need to make a choice and you need to see clearly what the future is of this. So what is the future of this? Let's ask that again. Oh my God. I'm going to take that one because that landed visible. What have I done here? The Universe and the Page of Swords. Okay. So because of this realization, this awakening that you've had, what you need to do right now is it's about stepping forward with some action. This is about making a decision. So it's almost like we said there about there's an indecision, somebody needs to make a decision. It's almost like, okay, I made a decision. There's going to be a revealing of some truth here. So this could be some truth coming towards you. It could be in the form of a message. And this truth is going to be revealing some kind of secret. It's going to be revealing something that you needed to know. What is the outcome here? Now, for some of you, that could be a message coming to you, but for others of you, it could be a message that you are going to send. So again, take that how it resonates with you. Again, I feel it's the feminine that's going to be receiving and it's the masculine that's going to be sending. So what is your outcome here? Outcome is the Five of Pentacles it's coming out as. So that's interesting because that's kind of like somebody that is feeling poor right now. Is almost like maybe that's poor communication or just feeling like they're lacking at this time. Let's get some clarity on that. That's a strange one as an outcome. Why is this barrier still there? Get some clarity. That Five of Pentacles. Okay, so the Four of Wands has come out after it. So somebody wants this stability. This could actually be marriage. This could be like, you know, a real solid commitment coming in. But maybe there is an element of financial, somebody doesn't feel like they're quite right at the moment financially to be able to come in and do this. So even though it feels like there is coming in communication quite quickly, the actual stability of this going ahead may be stalled a little bit because of that financial barrier, it feels like. But why is that important? Why is the financial thing important? Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so it's about having enough to offer. I feel like somebody wants to offer you something quite significant. They want to bring you a gift, but they don't feel like they've quite got enough funds together yet to enable to be doing that. But just know that they are planning on that. They're working towards that, which kind of makes sense now with this advice on the Seven of Swords and Three of Swords. It's almost like I feel like somebody wants to say sorry. Somebody wants to bring something forward. That could be you, or it could be somebody bringing this for you. They want to bring something solid, some kind of offer. So when can you expect this to happen? When is this going to happen? Six of Wands, triumph, victory, pride. So the six. Now this, for some of you, could actually be in a couple of days because we're on the 4th of July right now. I know I'm still in June. So this could actually be the 6th of July. So do let me know in the comments when this comes in. Just go, it happened, this happened, okay? Let me know. So for some of you, it's the 6th of July. Remember, this is a timeless reading though. So, I mean, it might be the 6th of whatever month you are in, or when the 6th is next coming. Okay, so for now time, it's in a couple of days. So I hope you find this reading well. And if this resonated with you and you would like a personalised reading, my details are down in the description box. Please do get in touch and I will be happy to do a reading for you. Right, I'm going to move on now to number 2. So if you're sticking around for the second one as well, and stick around if you think it might resonate with you. Okay. So, pile number 2, welcome to your reading. Let's see what we have for you, shall we? So, like I said to pile 1, I picked a moon card for you, as this is the dark moon. So we see what energy is still needing to be released at this time. We have purpose, and we also, it's like a clock laid down, like all limp. Now, this could be about an illusion around the purpose of something in your life at this time. Time could be an illusion at the moment for you. It's almost like, you know, perhaps you're lacking the energy of like, what is the point of certain things in your life? Okay, so we're going to get to the bottom of that. Let's see what runes we have for you. No way. Exactly the same as pile number 1, and Ewas is Freya's rune. So it's really interesting that we've got Freya watching over this today, and we have Ewas twice. You just can't make these things up, can you? Lagos and Manas. Interesting. Okay, so your reading is still about relationships. It's still about that trust in relationships within yourself, okay? How you show up in relationships and how you show up in the relationship with yourself. So you are working with, you know, what do I want? Who am I? How do I show up in relationships? And how have my previous relationships or things that I've been through been affecting me right now? Okay, so for many of you, I feel like you possibly have ended a relationship and you're ready to begin a new relationship, but you're not quite, things don't seem like they used to be, or perhaps you're struggling with casual connections, things like that. And there's a feeling of, with Freya being here, that loneliness of sort of like, you know, you, especially with Lagos here, is there may be a lot of emotion and fear around being on your own or not meeting the right person. So it's kind of made you do a lot of inner work, a lot of work on yourself as to sort of like, what is it about me? What do I need to look at within me to really feel at home with myself, trust myself in relationships? And you've been working on this with Manas here. You've really started to observe yourself and how you show up, how you appear to the world. You started to look into that. Maybe you've been asking people for feedback on their opinion of you, what they think of you. For some of you, you have been battling with feeling low, feeling maybe even depressed at this time. You know, just feeling like your energy is quite low at the moment and all is lost, and just not really feeling the purpose in anything, which is what we're going to get to the bottom of today. Is like, why are you feeling like there's no purpose in anything on here? So what is your current situation looking like? So we've got the 7 of Cups. So again, there's a lot of illusion around you. You're not sure what's real and what isn't. And maybe you are just surrounded by so many options, so many opportunities, maybe too much. And I feel like this day and age, especially, you know, like back in the day, you used to go and meet somebody in like your local pub or something like that. You had a lot less access to people, didn't you? So your chances of getting with somebody, you'd get with somebody local to you, and it perhaps was easier to get with into a relationship with somebody because there weren't all these other options available to you, you know. Whereas this day and age, we've got like a global library full of people all around the world that you could choose from. And I feel like sometimes somebody here gets a little bit overwhelmed with that. And this energy, you have this energy about you, whether you're male or female, you have this Freya energy, this goddess energy that kind of can come across as like, you know, you have this real charisma or confidence about you. You have something about you that people are really attracted to. And you might struggle with knowing what it is that you want, because so many people are opening their doors to you. You're a bit sort of like, oh, well, which one is right for me? Do you know what I mean? It would be easier, wouldn't it, if you didn't have as many options, but you have lots of options. And that's what's the tricky thing here. Because it's kind of like, well, if I go for this, am I going to miss out on this? And, you know, it's difficult. So let's see what the challenge is, although I think we've just picked that apart. What is your challenge here? Queen of Cups. Okay, so your challenge here is about finding something that's emotionally fulfilling. It's about, you know, what actually fills my cup, what makes me feel loved, supported. You're surrounded by so many people, you're perhaps adored by many people, loved by many people, especially in a sexual sense. But how many of those actually truly unconditionally love you? How many of those actually would be there when you really, really need them? You know, when looks fade, when you're not feeling your charismatic self, who would actually stick around? Who would really be there? And that's, I feel, what your your challenges at the moment is, wondering about that, you know. I sense the feeling of somebody feeling quite low, of like, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be. Things have changed now, as to it's not as easy to get with people these days, is it? Everybody's kind of a little bit more guarded these days. And I feel like you're kind of seeing this as, you know, you're struggling to find the purpose because you feel like time is ticking and you're still not in that kind of relationship that you're looking for, that you want, and you're just overwhelmed by the options, by the things that are there. So it is a difficult place to be in, and the challenge is about finding something emotionally fulfilling. Okay, so let's see, what do you need to focus on then at this time? Need to focus on. Okay, so focusing here on kind of you standing in your power and being able to sort of, almost like an interview process, if you like, and sort of be, you know, very much like, I don't need to just go out the door for that or for that. Just because something's coming towards you saying that they find you attractive or they want to be with you, or there's an energy of this, you need to stand in your power, sort of like, okay, well, how are you going to resonate with me? What do you bring for me that I can reciprocate for you? So it's kind of trying to find that balance, okay? Trusting yourself and allowing yourself to be fully in your power, and only take action when you need to. Okay, only take action when you feel it's the right thing for you. Okay, so what is this action that you could take right now? Judgment. This is realization, and sometimes it's kind of like things being illuminated to you. It's like you actually having something kind of speak to you. So the action to take right now, I feel like you've kind of been intuitively guided anyway as to what the action is to take, and it's leading you to a place of like being really truthful to yourself and moving with kind of like a truth and integrity of, this is the realization I've had about myself, and I'm not doubting myself anymore. I'm going to trust myself in the direction to go in the way that I want to move forward. I do sense there's an energy here. There's something about England. I can see that England flag on there. There's something about England here. So perhaps you live in England yourself, or maybe you're moving to England, or there's somebody on your mind that is from England. And you've had kind of like this realization, and I'm getting this energy or seeing somebody kind of like in the shower. This is going to sound dodgy, but in the shower thinking about a particular person. And it might be because you're in the shower and you can hear some music, and that music is reminding you of a particular person. But there's something about being in the shower that you kind of like maybe daydream a little bit about what it is that you really want in your life. We have temperance on the bottom there, which is all about purpose as well. So it's kind of like having patience to realize what your purpose is, okay? And that's what you're struggling with right now, isn't it? It's like, what is the point of all of this? So what is the point of this for you? What you're going through right now? What is the point of this? I saw that on the bottom a little bit ago as well. So the King of Swords. So the point of this is about you stepping into your own truth. realizing your truth, being quite logical about it as well. So it's almost like understanding the logical way forward, but with integrity and truth, and being able to be the leader of your own life. So basically saying, you know, where before maybe you found connections but not really with that deep emotion to it, maybe they've been very surface level, whereas now it's almost like you're kind of cutting through anything that doesn't really resonate with you on that level. Yeah, it has to be something strong or it's not happening at all, and you're being a little bit cutthroat about things now, or you should be, is what it's saying on here. It's kind of like, don't entertain anything that is not aligned with your heart and your head, not aligned with that truth within you. We've got the 9 of Swords on the bottom of here. So you could be, I've got this sense of somebody being quite worried about this, fearful about this, of the future, of how things are going to turn out for you. Whether you're going to find what it is that you're looking for is another way of putting it. So let's see then, what is your advice at this time? What advice do we have for you? See, I've got the energy here of like, when we talk about purpose, for you, I feel like you already have children, and maybe for a very long time, purpose was about having children. And now that maybe your children are growing up or something, you've got this whole new world without that, and you're struggling to find the purpose. Now, that's not for everybody, but that might be that. I don't know where that message came from. It's very specific. Okay, so we've got 6 of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So your purpose here is, I do feel that you do want something romantic in your life to happen. And you take a lot of pride in how you are on a romantic level, I feel. Maybe you're used to a lot of love offers. Maybe you're used to people kind of like telling you that you're attractive and things like that. You might be from the first pile as well, because we did have a little bit of that in there too. But there is this energy of, like we said before, that 7 of Cups, you know, a lot of offers, a lot of options, a lot of opportunities, but you come into this point now of like, but I just want something that's a bit deeper, that's a bit more emotionally fulfilling, not just a surface level like, oh yeah, you're attractive, or people after you for your sex, you know, for that kind of energy. You're after something, and you take a lot of pride in yourself. You do triumph in, you know, it's not hard for you to find connections, to find people. And I do feel you know, you're not short of offers coming in, but you want something with more purpose to it. We've got the 6 of Cups on here. So I do feel there's somebody reminiscing about something from the past here. Now this could be a past person or something that you think about often. Maybe you, like I said before about seeing somebody in the shower, maybe you reminisce about memories from the past. This could be a particular person on your mind. Let's look into that a little bit. Who is that? What is that? I know you've probably seen loads of readings, haven't you, where it's saying about, you know, your ex coming back and stuff like that. That's interesting. We've got the Empress flying out on there. So if you're the masculine watching here, this could be a woman that's been in your life before, a feminine that's kind of brought you unconditional love. It may be a connection that you've had that's brought you a touch of this emotional fulfillment that you hadn't felt before. But something's happened here, so you're not with this person anymore, I don't feel. Maybe they're with somebody else, you know, they could be married or anything. It could have been a long time ago since you were together. But this energy of, it almost feels like this was the only time you really felt like you were loved unconditionally. But it's interesting because your focus was the Emperor, wasn't it? So it's almost like if you focus on being the Emperor, maybe you're going to attract this Empress in. And it's interesting because the Empress is normally the one that attracts, okay? So this attraction here, and I feel like I'm talking more to masculines here than to feminines, okay? So this is you kind of being your strongest self, you're stepping into your own power, is going to turn her head. You know, at the moment, they're both looking away from each other. But if you put it that way, then they're both looking at each other, okay? So it's almost like, you know, keep focusing on yourself, and it's going to turn you both to look at each other, align with each other. It's almost like you don't need to do anything, but just keep being true to yourself, okay? Keep being true to yourself and allow that alignment. You know, Lagos kind of represents that. Allow that alignment, and you will both be switched on and aware of each other in that presence. Maybe this person thinks about you just as much as you think about them. For many of you, I feel like this is somebody from your past that perhaps I don't feel like you had a very long kind of relationship with, but there was definitely something there on a level that brought you emotional fulfillment, okay? It could be either way round, depending on what works for you, you know what I mean? If you're the feminine here, this could be the masculine. And if you're the masculine here, this could be the feminine, okay? But it's interesting that we've had both the Emperor and the Empress come out in this reading, and there's stuff about that Six of Cups as well, being, you know, about the past. So what's going to happen here? Let's find out what's going to happen. Wow, the Ace of Pentacles. It's interesting because this came out in the last reading as well, for pile number 1. This is about an offer coming in. This is, sometimes this can come out when there's an engagement, you know, when it's sort of like something, a commitment that's coming in is what I feel for this. Somebody hasn't forgotten somebody else. I don't feel like either counterpart has forgotten anybody else. And someone's having these times in their general daily, everyday, you know what I mean? Like I said before about having showers and things like that, and thinking about this person, daydreaming, wondering about, like, imagine if what my life would be like with this person, that kind of thing. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm feeling. Somebody, a rose could be significant. Somebody could have roses themselves, as these are the tattooing. Somebody could have a tattoo of a rose. And a snake as well. Oh no, it's not a snake, it's actually a peacock. Something about peacocks too is significant. So this could be about a peacock a peacock feather. I've got this feeling that somebody might be presented with a peacock flower as like a gift or something like that, or it might just be symbolic of something that falls in your lap, okay? Okay then. Yeah, the Eight of Cups. This is something I feel that you've walked away from in the past, and it's never really left your mind, but you don't know how to go back to it. You're sort of like, you're not sure how to get it back. So, what advice do we have? Ace of Cups now. This is love. It's new beginnings. It's filling up the cup. Your advice here is about filling up your own cup, okay? Fill your cup full of love, and it's going to attract this love in. It really is. I've got a feeling that you're going to meet this person just randomly out and about somewhere. It's going to be like divinely guided and aligned, almost like you don't need to do anything about it. You know, in the last reading, there was something about messages coming through. This one, it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like meeting in person. I've got the Knight of Pentacles on the bottom as well. So this is a real... You know, it may feel like this has taken some time, but I feel like it has taken some time, but this is bringing you into a space of feeling stable and secure, a real security around this. Okay. What is the outcome here? I want to know what that is. What is the outcome? The outcome here. We have the Fool and the Two of Wands. Somebody's made a decision and they're going to take a chance on it. Okay, now this could be you deciding to, you know, you've seen clearly now the way forward, the decision that you want to make, the choice that you want to make. So it's almost like you've narrowed it down, all of these choices that you've had, you've narrowed it down to 2 different things. But I feel like you know it's not this one, it's this one. You just know which direction you want to take. You know what this is about because you've been thinking about it for a little while now. And you're ready to take a chance. You're ready to take a leap of faith, I feel. Now, if you're the one that seems to be waiting for somebody else to get in touch, I feel like, yes, you're going to cross paths. You're going to cross paths very soon, okay? I would say it could be possibly in the next couple of weeks. Sometime in this month, in July, you are going to cross paths with this person, and you're both going to be prepared to take a leap of faith. You're both going to want that because it feels like this is very much divinely guided and somebody really wants it. Somebody really does want that. And they may be living different to how they were before. Like this person might actually be like, I don't say living like a traveller, but maybe they don't, if they had a house before, they're now living in a caravan or something like that, do you know what I mean? Or they're going on pilgrimages, or they're going on travels, things like that quite a lot. They're going to seem different to how you remembered them before. More free-spirited and available, you know, exploring quite a bit, like a traveller kind of hobo sort of energy, but not homeless, do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like they're doing it intentionally. They're not poor and on the street, basically. Okay, let's get one more card then to finish this reading off. One more card for you on this. The 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is something that is worth working on. It's making you want to do more work on yourself. It's making you want to work harder, basically, and in lots of aspects of your life. Okay, it's also giving you an idea. I feel like this particular energy with the Emperor and the Empress, I feel like you could actually be working together as well as being in a couple. So it's not just a love connection that's emotionally fulfilling. I feel like it's also going to be something that you can work together on a financial level as well. I'm very interested to know more about this. So please do drop down in the comments if that resonates with you. When this happens for you, come back and place a comment in there for me, or get in touch with me. Let me know. I'd love to know how this resonates and how this happens. If you would like a personalised reading for more details, my details are down in the description box, so please do get in touch. And I wish you all really well. I hope you have a pleasant evening, and I'll speak to you very soon. Blessed be.